It's Saturday night. That means it's time for the Don Tony Show.
The wait all week long is finally over. Get Don Tony's perspective on current affairs in the world of pro wrestling and much more. The Don Tony Show.
And now your host, the man, the legend, Don Tony.
Evening, everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend. It is Saturday night, December 11th, 2021. This is the Don Tony Show, albeit an abbreviated one tonight. Why? This guy will be on Twitch tonight. For anybody that's interested, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Killer, don't call me Karrion, Kross, without the mask. You know, I'm going to ask him if he has the mask. And if he does, I want it. Seriously. I still got it here. Look, Killer Kross, if you happen to see it, I will trade the first ever WWE autographed figure. First autograph ever. That's why it says number one. First autograph. That's why it says no. I'll give you both of these for that mask. And yes, tonight when I stop by his Twitch, I'm going to apologize to him for insisting that we try to take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad. I tried to make the best out of the suspenders and the mask, but obviously it didn't work. So I hope you can all stop by his Twitch at 10 o'clock. So this show will definitely be a little bit shorter tonight. So I could go into the other room, get ready, and stop by his Twitch at 10. So we have a few things to get into today. Shout out to everybody who is tuning in right now on Facebook and on Twitter. If you want to be part of submitting nominees for two categories tonight for the Blackhearts Year End Awards, I ask you soon in a few minutes to stop by the YouTube channel because our live chat is going to help us choose the nominees. We're not going to announce the winners tonight. We still got a couple of weeks left in 2021. But I think the two categories that we discussed tonight, I don't think 3 weeks is going to make a change, especially when it comes to Breakout Star of the Year. No, I do not believe that this man will be on the list. Hook. Everybody today, Hook. Not everybody. A small group on social media. And yeah, I think Darren complained earlier. DT, that cannot be the lead topic tonight. No, it's one of the topics I'm going to talk about tonight. Hook made his in-ring debut last night on AEW Rampage, beating Fuego Del Sol, a.k.a. the 1-2-3 Kid. And I'm going to give you my honest thoughts about it. I think I am going to be very fair. I think a majority of everyone out there are not going to have any issue to what I say about Hook. Also, yeah, Mike from New York, that was actually one of the things I was going to say next. You know, I was not aware of all these tornadoes that went down. I mean, I heard it, you know, briefly, and then you find out 4 states in 4 hours. My God. I mean, that's why, you know, that's one of the things you've heard me say before. I want to get out of New York. I really do. Unless I move to the mountains. But even that, you know, it's very expensive to live in New York. And I'm not leaving yet. I mean, once my parents are no longer on this earth, which I hope is not for decades, and my fiance's parents as well, we want to get out of here. But in choosing where we want to relocate, you know, we want it to be more country life. I want to get away from the city life as much as possible, but also we want to go to an area that doesn't have lots of tornadoes, lots of earthquakes. I don't mind the cold. I mean, if we get snowed in, yeah, not that snowed in. If we get snowed in, you don't have to worry about a remake of The Shining. All work and no play. We'll make Don Tony podcast all day. I just thought of that one. So we have a few things to get into today. Now, originally, I was going to give you my thoughts on Hook as soon as we start the show, until a few of you showed me this. Guys, gals, for everybody that said that don't rule out of The Rock possibly showing up on AEW one day down the line if the price is right, I'm not so sure after this surfaced. And The Rock posted this on his social media accounts. Did you know The Rock and Nick Khan are childhood buddies? Doesn't surprise me at all. Somehow it didn't make Young Rock. But check this out, everybody. You got to see this. And for my audio-only friends out there, no worries, because I will read you what The Rock... Look at that. Look at that. Oh, The Rock is dining with the devil. Oh, God. That's why, like I say, when these people out there rip Nick Khan, if you don't like the man, I totally respect that. But to turn around and rip his business practices and all this other stuff, until you show me that your own jobs are better than a paper route, collecting unemployment, getting some type of public assistance, or podcasting for 60 people. Sorry, with all due respect, I don't weigh your opinions too heavy. Khan! See, you can't see it because it's Buck. I was just Khan! Anyway, The Rock said this. There's a picture of The Rock, Nick Khan, and his sister having dinner in a restaurant. Beautiful picture, by the way. And The Rock writes, and I quote, "This one's special. Means a lot to me. Years in the making. In the mid-1980s, Nick Khan, his sister, Nanachka." Oh, give me props if I just pronounced that right. I swear I did not do a Google search where you type in a word and, how does this sound? And then you go on YouTube, it says, Nanachka. Now, for all I know, I got it wrong, but his sister, Nanachka Khan, and myself used to run around as kids in Honolulu, Hawaii, every month when my grandmother would promote at the local arena her monthly pro wrestling shows. As kids, we loved the pro wrestling business, and as adults, our love and respect for the wrestling business has become boundless. Now, years later, Nick is WWE president. Nanachka is one of the best TV show runners in Hollywood and the creator of Young Rock, our award-winning TV series on NBC based on my wild upbringing in the world of pro wrestling. And I've gone on to do a thing or two. Life is unpredictable, amazing. Here we all are. Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. Never thought I would see that. I know for people on their phones, I know that looks like you need a magnifying glass. I underestimate how many of you tune into these shows on the phones. In fact, that's why if you look at my thumbnails, and trust me, 2022, one of my goals is to really boost up my thumbnail, quality. I still view everything on computers. Very rare do I ever check out a podcast through a phone. And if you see my graphics, it's usually designed for computer viewing, something with bigger than a 20-inch screen. Then when I go and look at it on the phones and I look at statistics and like 65% of you tune in on phones, I'm like, oh my God, I could only imagine the chicken scratch, horrendous thumbnails that I was putting on in the past. So that's why, if you notice, I am starting to try to learn it a little bit more. I don't try to make it as congested, but I think this was big enough, to check out. But The Rock and Nick Khan having freaking dinner, lifelong pals. Go figure. So how's everybody doing tonight? Great weekend? I know our Saturday nights, it's usually a very intimate audience here live because, everybody is out and about. And even if you're not out and about, a lot of people just want to kick back with family, watch TV, friends. I know there's a lot of sports on the TV today. So for my live friends out there, I always want to make it Not trying to leave out our friends who check out the archives. And believe me, there's plenty of opportunities. I have contests coming for Christmas. I didn't announce it yet, but I might as well let the cat out of the bag now. We're going to do something probably next week, maybe Christmas Eve week, Christmas week. We're going to do a whole bunch of giveaways. I was thinking of raffles, maybe putting like things in a bag and pulling names out or something like that. But I have a ton of autographs to give away, a couple of Undertaker, CM Punk, AJ Lee. I mean, I have a thing filled with cards. So we're going to give away a bunch of collectibles. The Johnny Gargano plaque that everybody's been asking about. So, all right, I guess since Twix brought this up, I guess I will be happy to bring it up now. Alberto El Patron. Did you see the news yesterday? The charges have been dropped for Alberto El Patron. His attorney says, my client is now focused on wrestling and MMA. I'm not good at sound effects. I might be able to impersonate wrestlers' voices a little bit, but sound effects I'm not good at. So how do you make a abrupt break not so fast, Mr. Patron, because a lot of what, and believe me, I'm not going to clickbait this. Chances are when it's updated on Monday, everything will be fine for Mr. Patron. But for everyone out there that cut and paste the last 24 hours that the charges, the case is closed, Patron is a free man because the woman who accused him of all the abuse did not show up in court. This is why you can't just read something and claim you're a reporter. You need to do a little bit more work on top of that. And I used to do that, and it got me in a lot of trouble. Just think Perry Saturn. Need I say more? But for everyone out there that ran for the last 24 hours based on a link that somebody clicked, I guess they didn't realize that link got updated today. Take a look at that. Now, for my audio-only friends, no worries. Now, if everybody's looking on the screen, though, if you look for December 10th, which was yesterday, you see case closed, bond closed, dismissal, dismissed because the witness not missing like on a milk carton, but did not appear. All right, you look at everything December 10th. That's it. He's clear. He's off the hook. Except today they added, late last night, they added 2 new dates. December 13th. Awaiting trial date set. Now, if you, I don't have it on the screen right now, but if you go back into October, when the case was still pending in court, they had the same things written. Awaiting trial date set. So he is not completely out of the woods yet until the last entry, everything is closed. Now, they're not going to write the word everything, but they will add some additional terms, but he's not completely out of the woods yet. Now, again, when it says missing witness, that doesn't mean we're going to get a new episode of Forensic Files, that she just disappeared, that she's on some milk carton. That's not the case. She did not show up in court. That's it. His accuser did not show up in court. So they were forced to drop everything. So let's see what happens Monday. I mean, honestly, from the research that I saw, it's like dominoes. Once you knock one domino, all the dominoes are going to fall. So the fact that a lot of these charges are now dismissed, anything else that might still be open is going to be dismissed also. All right, there's no chance that Monday, Sir, Judge, Your Honor, I missed the boss on Friday. I'm sorry. I want him convicted. That's my impersonation of his accuser. It's not going to happen. So the dominoes are going to keep falling. Patron should be a free man. And look, he will be, see, there's a difference between exonerated and a difference between acquitted, or, you know what I mean? Like, even though technically the charges are now dropped because the witness didn't appear, still in a lot of people's minds, they don't think Patron is 100% innocent. Now, I'm one of those. I believe that the guy definitely was in some ways an abuser. I think back to the stuff with Paige. But I live in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty, and they have not proven that he has done any of these things. So I gotta, because I live in this country, you accept the verdicts, you respect the verdicts that you like, you respect the verdicts that you don't like. That's like what I always said. That piece of shit asshole cop that killed George Floyd, the court made the right decision. Kyle Rittenhouse, the court made the right decision. Just because we don't like this decision, we don't agree with the decision, you have to respect it. And that's how I look at this with Patron. It's really all I could say about that. So, anyway, we talked about it on Thursday. Blackjack Lanza passed away at the age of 86. And, I had said on Thursday, expect tons and tons of tributes to come in the world of pro wrestling. How much this man helped wrestlers in pro wrestling. He's one of those guys that didn't have to tell you how much he helped people. That's the thing I love about Mick Foley more than anything else. The amount of good that man has done where the cameras never documented it. It's amazing. Others out there, they have to there's a lot of people on social media that unless you tell them that you do all these good things, they don't think you're a good person, which is awful, which is absolutely awful. Blackjack Lanza, getting a lot of tributes and very well deserved. And a lot of people out there never really even knew the man because, he's before our time. Before your time. Me, I'm older. I'm just trying to blend in with all of you out there. If you see me shaking this, I'm drinking a diet iced tea. A little bit different tonight, but rest in peace, Blackjack Lanza, 86 years old. Like I said Thursday, I'll be happy living in the 76. So I'm in a little bit of a good mood tonight. Earlier today, and for those that follow my personal stuff, earlier today, my fiance ordered a wedding dress. I guess that's what they make you hold. That looks like a mugshot thing. So, that's her mom with her. So she ordered a wedding dress today. I'm not allowed to see what it looks like, but I heard it's really nice. Thank God I don't have to pay for it. It's the only thing I don't have to pay for with this wedding. And my parents, everybody who has always shown concern for my mom and my dad, they are currently in Florida. That piece of shit elf that had to photobomb everything, you son of a bitch, I'll light your plastic ass on fire. That's my parents today in Florida. They come back tomorrow. And, I thank you all for always showing concern, man. Again, it's so sad. So sad. I don't post this stuff to get props and accolades and responses, but so sad. And I brought this up before, to look back the last 2.5 years and see a certain group of people out there that are so bitter about anything good that they never wreak their ugly heads. They smile in front of your face and they'll do this behind your back. Or once everybody blew their load and once everybody gave, props or thoughts or this and that, then when they realize they stand out like a sore thumb, oh, I was not online today. I just saw this. I wasn't online all weekend. It's all right. We all know who those people are. Also, I started posting some retro shows, and I put up a poll in the community section. We divided it into like 4-year spurts, like shows that you want me to re-upload from yesteryear. Because look, up until 2 weeks ago, the library of my work online is only from 2020 to the present. I've been doing this since the 90s. So I am now slowly re-uploading shows. And I said, what period do you want me to put up first? And overwhelmingly, you all said from the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. So I was trying to boost up the audio today for the year-end review from 2006. This is not the year-end awards. We already posted that. But just looking back at 2006, and I want to share with you, and I wanted to put this clip on now. It's only 2 minutes. But I wanted to put this clip up now, number one, to hear how it sounds, you know, because the audio 15 years ago was primitive. 20 years ago, it was pathetic. 25 years ago was horrendous because we just talked through telephones. But I tried to boost up the audio as best as I could. And if you want a little hint as far as what our shows were like 15 years ago, here's a 2-minute sample of how a normal show would open up.
You know, speaking of perverted people, I said this on the hotline a while back, you know, with all the Rocky movies out, I wish once they should have came out with a movie based on Paulie. You know, just call it Paulie. Like in Paulie's point of view, like when he was drunk and he was trying to like molest kids or trying to pick up hookers or, you know, trying to get the robot to jerk him off from Rocky 3. You know, just like a movie called Paulie. I think it'd be great. He'd be like a dirty old man. Come on.
No, was there like an in-between Rocky movie that I never saw? That's Booker's Fantasy.
I'm serious. Like the dirty old man, just Paulie. You know? Come on. You're like Rocky comes home and Paulie gets caught. Like...
Let's get back to ECW. I have no idea where this is going. I mean,
all right, well...
it's like, I want to say a quick comment about ECW. What the hell?
Oh, but ECW has no identity.
You see how bad ECW is, and we can't even talk about ECW.
Time has arrived. We are broadcasting raw live from my ass. Boom, boom! I'd rather watch two old women slap my ass. Woo!
You remember that?
As a chunk of my ass. Here comes the biggest ass. The big man is back. Jim Ross, 350 pounds here. Say hello to my ass. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest spectacle on earth. My ass. 30 men will enter my ass. You know what I mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, December the 25th. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all you sons of bitches out there. You are listening to the most dysfunctional family on internet radio today, The Minority Report. I am Joey924, Rebel Without a Pause. With me as always, is the one and the only.
What'd you do, steal that from Chuck D? Anyway, you know, that was very disturbing with the King and Jerry Lawler. It brought their commentary to a new level.
That's it. That's just the sample today. I did not make that song. But you go back and there's so many gems that we just completely forgot about. And it's amazing. I mean, you all are helping me go back to memory lane. You know, you tell me what you want posted. But, you know, there's a lot of shows that have not been online since they originally aired. So that's the next one that I'm working on. Come on. I don't know where Joey924 is. I haven't talked to him in ages. You know, I don't know if he still watches wrestling, but like I said, when the channel reaches 50,000 subscribers, I am going to reach out to some of the people that I've done shows in the past with. I mean, unfortunately, my co-host Kev Castle, he's already told a lot of people he has no interest whatsoever. He's DM people, you know, and he's not interested. So that's done. But there's other hosts, you know, if Mad Zombie is still alive, which I hope that he is, you know, you heard the rumors. Unfortunately, Timmy Arson, ECW Zombie, he has passed. Brian Damage is still around. So Brian Damage, I know, would come on. There's a few others. Smoked Out is still around doing something. So we will do something in 2022. So, yeah, Mad Zombie Video. When a lot of wrestlers talk about buying bootleg videotapes back in the day, when Eddie Kingston tells those stories, Mad Zombie was one of 3 guys that would show up at all the ECW arena shows with giant bags, and he whip out bootlegs and sell them right there. And the Beulah adult video is what got Matt Zombie in massive trouble. Banned from ECW events, brought into the bathroom, threatened with his life by a few people in ECW, which we will not bring up the names again. We've told the stories before. Because we don't want everybody to run onto their shows and say, hey, man, this guy, because it's disrespectful because, some of them are now married, but still, pretty wild to remember those times and to think that some of that stuff was 25 years ago. 25 years ago, man. So, yeah, no, I didn't part on good terms with Joey. We had a blowout, but, and I admit I've made my fair share of remarks towards him over the years, but, he wasn't a saint either. But, we'll see. If he doesn't want to do something as a reunion show, then he doesn't. Nobody's going to be forced to. Shout out to Near. Happy anniversary. 8 months. 8 months. By the way, I saw your tweet earlier. I just, today was so crazy here in the homestead. Here's a programming note. This is going to disappoint some of you out there. It looks like there will be no show this Wednesday. I know winter is coming. Yes, I wanted to cover it, but for me, angiogram is coming too. Wednesday, I have to get blood work done, pre-op. Thursday, I go in for my angiogram. And that's not going to be fun. They put an incision in your groin. They run some type of catheter or leads into your heart, and they look around, and they check to see if there's blockages. If they find anything serious, I got to stay in the hospital. If they don't find anything, I get to go home. So that'll take place on Thursday. So like I said, if anything happens that I have to stay in the hospital at Thursday, I will let you know, and there'll be no show on Thursday or too. But the reason why it's not going to be a show on Wednesday is because more than likely I'm going to have to be at that hospital like 6:30 in the morning on Thursday. And I'm probably going to end up grabbing a hotel room right by the hospital and staying in a hotel room the night before. This way I don't have to hit rush hour traffic. I don't have to deal with any of that bullshit. I just want to get this done. And honestly, I'm trying not to think about it because you all know my father went in for the same exact procedure in January. Next thing you know, they kept him and they cut him open. And he had the Widowmaker. He was within probably weeks of dropping, so not fun. Triple bypass for my dad. For me, I'm pretty sure I'm okay. But, fingers crossed. So, all right, we've talked about Alberto. We plugged Karrion Kross at the beginning of the show, and we talked about The Rock. Okay, let's, for a brief moment, talk about Jeff Hardy. What has transpired in the last 72 hours shows you the difference, and I'm talking about shows, news sites, and reporters. Not talking about fans. I can understand fans that fantasize the Hardys in AEW. When Matt Hardy says that Jeff is good, when Beth says her husband is good, he's fine, that gives fans hope that maybe WWE blew this out of proportion. And Jeff just wants, he's got to take time away. Nobody knows if he fell off the wagon again. Nobody knows if he is physically and mentally burned out. Well, there's, suspicions in this, but for the last 72 hours, you have seen the difference between people who just want to be real about Jeff Hardy's situation, and then there are those who are just looking for hits, plain and simple. The idea that people know for certain that Jeff Hardy was inebriated or under the influence that night of that match is a liar and is looking just for hits. If I told you that he was not inebriated, I would be lying to you. We had a very serious conversation Thursday about it, that the battle is not just the idea of relapsing, it's the emotional battle as well. the temptation when the guy wrestles at the level that he still does for 30 years and he doesn't pop pills anymore and he doesn't smoke weed and he doesn't drink. And that pain not only takes control of your body, but now the temptation. I'm a grown-ass adult. Why can't I have a beer? I'm done with the wrestling. I'm not going to drive under the influence. Why can't I have a couple of shots? I'm a grown man. It's legal. It's not against the law. Why? Because I abused it before? I'm a man. I'm responsible. I can handle it. WWE tells you, you got to go into rehab. Fuck you. I don't have a problem. And even if I want to drink after the show, what's wrong with that? WWE's not his parents. They're not his keeper. So maybe WWE did jump the gun. We don't know. That's what we talked about on Thursday. But we have seen what Jeff Jarrett has gone through. A lot of you out there have seen relatives go through this. Some of you out there have gone through addiction as well. It is a lifelong battle. You know, when we talked about it with Tammy not too long ago, it was not a popular topic because people don't like her. You know, it's a lifelong battle, whether you like a person or you don't like a person. But the idea of seeing people out there tell you that they know one way or the other is terrible. And the idea that people are trying to portray that Jeff lied to get out of his contract, lied about a lifelong addiction that has led to arrests, that has turned his family upside down, turned his life upside down, a real life situation that affects millions of people every year. And some people think that he lied just to get out of a contract. That's worse than the WWE doing a storyline based on his addiction. That is asinine to be brought up. But I will say this. Did you see the reports coming out today? That some officials, and I don't know if this is true, take it as a rumor. There are some officials within WWE that said, as far as they knew, Jeff Hardy was not under the influence the night of that match. That Jeff was getting his legs and his knees done and a few others, and everybody in the back didn't smell any alcohol. He didn't look inebriated, didn't look like he was under anything. He was sluggish. Well, Jesus Christ, if every fucking bone and muscle in the lower part of my body is hurting and I'm doing the grind and now I got to do a match, you know, unfortunately, adrenaline is not a painkiller fully. So you're starting to hear that people behind the scenes did not notice anything. Now, we will never know the truth. We will never know the truth. If Jeff Hardy ever reveals anything, that's him. But we will never truly know the truth. But if you remember what I said Thursday, that it almost looks symbolic that he jumped the guardrail and walked out into the fans, into the real world, you know, instead of walking to the back, didn't even want to hear, probably didn't even want WWE officials to confront him. Yo, what are you doing? You still got a match going on. Fuck it. I'm going out into the fans. You know, we don't know. We try to understand. But honestly, the last 72 hours, it's pretty embarrassing to see people out there. And you know what was even worse? The people out there that try to tell everyone else, don't think about AEW. Don't blame WWE. Just care about Jeff. Like I fucking needed you to tell me this. They write that to get 10,000 hits. You're so spot on. This 100% or the 1,000. I don't fucking need you to tell me. Each and every one of you out there tuning into the shows, you know what's right and what's wrong. I don't need somebody to write in 100 characters to get 10,000. I don't need you. So we're starting to hear little drips and drabs. Jeff is burned out. He's physically hurting and he's emotionally burned out. and the temptation of falling off is taking control as well. Again, we will never know the truth, full truth. Because let's also be honest. Let's also look at the other side of it. If Jeff Hardy ever comes out and says anything, this is going to be Jeff Hardy's version. Might not be 100% of the story. We will never, ever know the full story. But like I said, Beth comes out and says what she says, and tons of people out there just ignored it. Just ignored it. Just wanted to create this narrative, and that's sad. It's sad. And I will segue into RK Bro. Oh, I think this is a great segue. RK Bro. If Kross was not doing a Twitch show tonight, I was going to wear my Randy Orton RK Out of Nowhere shirt. Yesterday on SmackDown, RK Bro was on. The Usos versus the New Day versus RK Bro. Who's the best tag team in WWE today? RK Bro is one of the brightest parts of WWE in 2021. Period. I went offline yesterday. 10 minutes into SmackDown, I said, no, I'm just going to enjoy SmackDown without having to look at these whiny babies online. I saw people, just because it's cool and because there's this group that love to do that, complaining. Oh, what happened to the roster split? Is this one of those invitationals? Is RK Bro an invitation? Fuck you, just be a wrestling fan. RK, what did you want? Corbin and Moss in there? I wrote this yesterday just as a comment. I got a DM today from someone who I really value, who is involved in wrestling. He said, DT, you're actually spot on with that. That tag team yesterday, it said RK Bro, was likely supposed to be Jeff Hardy and Drew McIntyre. And when Jeff Hardy walked out, it put a monkey wrench in all of that. And instead, they went with RK Bro, who stepped up since they could not have Drew and Jeff Hardy as the team, as the third team. You watch now, in a couple of days, you will get some websites that will figure that out. Hey, gee, well, maybe RK Bro is on because Jeff Hardy and Drew. When they get it, this is how the sausage is made, everyone. Once they figure it out, once the light bulb goes off, hey, maybe that's why they're there. They're going to write exclusive backstage news. Our sources tell us that the original plans was supposed to be Drew McIntyre and Jeff Hardy as a team, as the third team in that match. But when Jeff Hardy walked out and was released from WWE, WWE had to make an audible, and they went with RK Bro instead. Why did anybody complain at that yesterday? Even if it had nothing to do with Jeff Hardy and Drew McIntyre, why did anybody complain? It's one of the bright spots of 2021, and you're complaining? I don't get that logic. I don't get that logic at all. I thought it was fun yesterday. And it was very smart for the WWE to have New Day come out on top, because the New Day are facing the Usos for the 985th time at day one. So, that's what we got yesterday. So, RK Bro, man, put him on NXT, which we talked about on Wednesday. Give me on them all the shows. Would they have rather have had Corbin and Moss? Corny Corbin and Meatball Moss as the third team last night? Why did anybody complain? I don't get that. By the way, yesterday, because Becky and Charlotte, everybody told you it's so toxic. They can't work with each other. For the live fans yesterday, they were treated to a four-way match. Becky versus Charlotte versus Sasha versus Bianca. We had the 4-women match after the cameras went off the air. This time around, it was Sasha Banks who pinned Becky. This is to suspension of disbelief, elevate Sasha a little bit in the title picture, even though she's on SmackDown and Becky's on Raw. I don't know if you saw that cute video of Becky going up to the little girl sitting front row. And I love little things like that. Becky goes to this little girl in the front row and she starts yelling at her, "You distracted me. That's why I lost. If you didn't distract me, I would have won." And this is just Becky being in character. Yeah, I agree with you, Ben. I wish that match would have been on TV. But, again, you got to understand, SmackDown, WWE programming, it's not rocket science. And it seems like every couple of months we have to have this conversation. But, again, those other people out there either know it and refuse to accept it, or they can't act like they know it because it gives them a reason to crap on WWE. When they compare the number of minutes of wrestling, in-ring wrestling from one show to the other, WWE is about storytelling. They're about storytelling, period. That's what it is. Some people love it. Some people don't like it. Some people hate it. But for the people who go in attendance and paid prime money, now look, if I'm going to a WWE event and I paid a decent amount for the tickets and you give me 30 minutes of wrestling in 2 hours, I'd probably be pissed off too. That's why you get the extra match when the cameras go off the air. Just for the live fans. You paid all this money to attend live. You get extra. That's it. That's why you see these dark matches. When they look at TV and they say, "This is all we got? This is all we got on TV?" Well, when you look at the people who pay, and you look, they do still draw pretty nicely because they get extra. And lo and behold, we didn't need Roman Reigns on the show yesterday. And I heard the overnight rating for SmackDown was pretty good. People did not tune off the TV during the night. Roman, they gave a little bit of a break. And he's very well deserved break. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I'm sure there were some fans who were very, very disappointed that no Roman was on. But hell, they got RK Bro, they got Becky, and they got Bianca, and they got an extra 4-way women's match. And yes, I agree with you, Nero Faye. Everyone, if you're enjoying the show, take 3 seconds out of your time, not to do a pin, but to hit that thumbs up. It helps. You'd be surprised how much it helps. So, like I said before, we're going to end the show early because Killer Kross is doing a live Twitch at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. So I want to end this show around 9:30 so I can edit, put it online, and then I am going to stop by his Twitch to say hello. And, I'm going to find out if he's got the mask. I'm not kidding. I actually want that thing. I'm going to give him some thanks, and I would love for all of you to stop by too. And if you stop by, tell him DT sent me, because I'm going to hang out, and I'm not doing nothing for tonight afterwards. And, it'll be cool. Be pretty cool. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. The journalist in me is very tempted. It's very tempted to ask one question. I don't want to say what that question is because I know one of you out there will steal it. I'll make a deal with you. If you have the balls to ask him this question, then throw my name in it somewhere. DT brought this up. And I'm curious, Killer Kross, this question. Did WWE release you because of a COVID vaccination or lack thereof? See, I would love to ask that question, but I don't think it's appropriate, to be honest with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. With regards to people who are released, I know the answer for not a lot, but several of the people who are released. Several of the people who are released that people said were not vaccinated actually are. COVID is something that I think is a personal decision, and I respect those who do not believe in vaccination. Hell, I got family members that still think that you become fertile if you're vaccinated. I have nothing to smash over my head right now at the stupidity of that. But I have family members that think that. I have had 3 shots. Technically, if you want to be blunt, I have 4 because I got the 3rd shot when they were still giving the full medicine. And some of you saw the documentation. I never put that on YouTube. I should have. But the only reason why I didn't is because the 3rd dose, I had the full medicine, the 100 milligrams, not the 50 that they ended up releasing. So, I probably have way too many antibodies in me right now. And it makes me wonder sometimes when I feel really off. I felt off the last couple of days, and I said to myself, motherfucker, do I have too much medicine in me? So I don't think I have the kahunas to ask that question. But if you have the you-know-whats, then say, DT wanted to ask this question. But he felt it was disrespectful to ask publicly. Infertile. Thank you, Dorian. Yes, infertile. I have family members who think that you cannot get pregnant if you get the vaccination. Anyway, what else are we going to... Oh, we got... Wow, we've blew through some questions pretty quickly. Yes, keep smashing that like button. There should be more likes than viewers because I know some of you are tuning in a little bit later. MJF. Maybe we'll finish the show with Hook. MJF. Talk to the New York Post. Oh, we got the 2 categories for the Year End Awards. Can't forget about that. So you know what? Let's talk about MJF for a minute. His comments about CM Punk. We'll talk about Hook. We'll get into the 2 categories so you could help me come up with the nominees tonight. And then in a day or 2, I'm going to put those 2 categories on the community section so everybody can start voting. So you're going to help me tonight pick the nominees for the 2 categories. If you want to start thinking now, don't post them yet. But the 2 categories are Breakout Star of 2021 and Female Wrestler of the Year. Those are the 2 categories that you're going to help me choose the nominees tonight. I have 3 that I came up with Breakout Star. So not yet, but we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. The MJF stuff is going to be quick, and Hook is only going to take me 5 minutes. MJF talked to the New York Post. I got his comments right here. Now I want to read it to you because there's something about MJF that I think he needs to be a little careful about. And trust me, he does not need my opinion. I'm just expressing an opinion. But MJF has to be careful about something. And don't get me wrong, nothing that he said in this was vile, tasteless, vulgar. That's not where I'm going with this. MJF about CM Punk. This is what MJF said. Well, I'm me, 24/7, 365. I'm not a gimmick. I'm not one of these guys that has to portray somebody else in order to feel comfortable and confident when they walk through the curtain. It's just me, and that's why I make so much goddamn money for the company. But as far as Punk goes, why was I such a fan? I said it in what people are calling one of, if not the greatest verbal joust in the history of this business. I said I was a huge fan of CM Punk in the ring on the microphone. He was the best in the world, or so I thought. Ever since he's returned, I'm not feeling the CM Punk of old. I feel like something's missing there. I also feel like I'm the only person who even potentially giving him the spark that he needs to give me the CM Punk I grew up on. And he should be thankful for that. Now, yes, MJF, as all wrestlers do, will keep in with the storyline. I've showed you that picture before. I don't think I have it handy. Believe me when I tell you, I didn't think about this picture literally until 3 seconds ago. If I have it, I will post it, but I'm pretty certain I don't. Is this it? No. Do you remember the Stadium Stampede? I'm trying to find the picture. I don't think I have it handy. Well, you know me. I'm always determined to keep looking until it surfaces. I'm looking, but it doesn't look like it's going to appear. You give me 2 more seconds. I'm looking. Nah, it's not happening this time, everybody. I know it's going to happen as soon as no, that's not it. As soon as we go off the air, I'm going to be like, son of a bitch, I found it. I'm looking at Retribution photos. Sammy Guevara when he burned himself. Christopher Daniels with the black and blue. So I must be getting close. I'm looking. Here's the inner circle in the ring. But this photo definitely leads to what I was going to say about MJF. All right, just give me 5 more seconds. If I don't find it, then that's the end of it. Nick Khan, CM Punk rumors. Yeah, no, we're not finding it tonight. Damn, that sucks. I'm buying like 10 seconds of extra time, and I still... Oh, wait. I did find it. I think I did find it. See, everyone, I'm one of those that when I start something, I got to finish it. Persistence. This photo did more damage than I think people understand. And I'm not bringing it up, and I'm not showing it to you right now to be an asshole. But I want to show it to you to make a point of what I want to say about MJF. And listen, everybody, if you've heard my show since MJF got into AEW, I am a huge MJF fan. Huge MJF fan. I'm one of the idiots that bought remember the 2020 vote for MJF? Still got it somewhere. Remember this photo from Stadium Stampede? Remember when they pre-recorded part of the match and it was after he got put through the plate glass window, or somebody got put through a plate glass window, and then it was live? I mean, somebody from the Jacksonville Jaguars posted that online. Whoever that was, I would ban them from the building. I would try to get them removed from Florida. That is one of the worst photos you could have ever put online, because we were in the midst of this hated storyline between MJF and Chris Jericho. And somebody in there, right, this is as bad as that moron wrestler that posted the photo of Keith Lee with both championship belts before it aired live on TV. If you're truly a wrestling fan, even if somebody caught MJF and Jericho making out in a bathroom, if I'm a wrestling fan, I do not put that shit online. Somebody with a clear fucking head post a picture of MJF and Jericho hanging out, watching them beat the shit out of each other in a pre-recorded Stadium Stampede first half. And that photo did more damage, because when we watch wrestling, we want suspension of disbelief. Remember that feud between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman? Just like all of you, I hate Roman Reigns. And people really started buying into the suspension of disbelief that Braun Strowman hated Roman Reigns, until some moron, it might have been Titus O'Neil, unfortunately, somebody posted a picture of them hanging out in Italy or something like that. So when you get MJF make comments like this, if you're in character 24/7, 365, or you're not in character 24/7, 365, when you have to tell people that you're not in character 24/7, 365, Okay, sir, you're not in character 24/7, 365. Explain this. And you can't pretend you're the Iron Sheik or Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, my car broke down. He was the only person on the road. Once I realized it was the Duggan, I wanted to fuck him in the ass. If I was MJF, don't remind people about being not in character 24/7, 365. Because saying that stuff about CM Punk, and chances are there's a Jacksonville Jaguar sitting in the back waiting one day to take a picture of you and CM Punk, watching yourselves promoting each other. When I was a kid, the Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Jim Duggan incident on the New Jersey Turnpike was one of the worst things. I mean, by then, we knew what wrestling was, but we don't want to be reminded. Suspension of disbelief, we don't want to be reminded. MJF versus CM Punk, you want to feel that there's tremendous heat. Adam Cole, bringing up, everybody wants to feel that there's legit tension. Then you're reminded of things like that, and it kind of ruins it for everybody. So if I was MJF, and again, he doesn't need my advice. I'm looking at it on the opposite side of the TV screen. But, he doesn't need to remind everyone what he's not. Because if you're not a gimmick 24/7, 365, explain that photo. And I don't want him to explain that photo because there is no explanation. So I found the comments interesting because I agree with them. CM Punk is not the CM Punk from back then. It feels like, promos more than anything else. But CM Punk also is now older. He's married. He's got other priorities now. Wrestling he has fallen in love with again, but it's not his must go to at all costs. So yeah, of course the CM Punk we have now is different from the one from 7 years ago. I saw somebody desperately trying to tweet bang everybody over the weekend with this article. Is this the CM Punk that we wanted? Was this worth the 7-year wait? I don't know what the hell they were expecting. He's an older, more mature CM Punk. He could still, he's a master on the mic still, and he is great in the ring. But, just because they weren't WWE fans 7-10 years ago, they feel like they missed out on something. Monday Night Wars, I brought that up so many times. People out there want to force a war so bad because they missed out on the Monday Night War. Too bad. Too bad. You weren't born yet. You were too young. You weren't a wrestling fan. Too bad you missed out. They force a war now because they want to have theirs because of how we felt when we experienced the Monday Night Wars. So let's talk about Hook. We'll do those two categories and call it. By the way, shout out to everybody who's live right now. Much love. I know there's quite a few of you on Twitter right now. Oh, very cool. Facebook. So, again, if you want to be part of helping me with the nominees for those two categories, hop on YouTube because we're going to get into it in about 5 minutes. Hook. By the way, not only did Hook have his in-ring debut last night, Tony Khan announced today that Hook is now officially under contract with AEW. Now, everyone, I am not diminishing that. Wrong photo. Would I accidentally close it? There it is. All right. I am not diminishing him signing. That's a good thing. Does he deserve an AEW contract? Sure. Absolutely. Just keep in mind what the AEW contracts truly are. We've talked about it to death. We don't need to do another crash course on it. The AEW contracts are a fragment compared to WWE contracts. You see Tony Khan telling people that I won't release people. I'll just let the contracts run out. Remember, for some people, if they don't get used, they don't get paid. So it sounds like he's being extra generous. Yeah. So anyway, Hook yesterday had his in-ring debut. Took on Fuego Del Sol. Beat him. Had a dominant match. My favorite photo coming out of yesterday was this one. Hook is walking down the ring. I don't know which fan to credit. And somebody took a picture of Taz standing up, giving his son a standing ovation, walking down the rampway. Put wrestling aside for a minute. That must be an incredible, awesome feeling on behalf of Taz to not only see his son make his pro wrestling debut, but to also call it. I mean, he's no Brock Anderson. And I know that is unfair to Brock Anderson. But this debut was tremendous. Now, I'm going to say this too, because you know me. Let's take this off. You know me. The light is falling down over here. Okay, we're good. I'm straight up, honest. A lot of things I say are not sexy. They're not going to get hits. They're not going to get likes. A lot of times, if you call WWE out, you'll get 1 million hits and likes. If you call out the goofs, you realize you don't get too many likes and hits because most of the people that are reading it are the goofs. Hook had a great debut yesterday because the match was set up that way. He dominated Fuego del Sol. That's how the match was set up. Did he look good? He absolutely did. Of course, for the ladies, and I know that might sound like I'm alienating, but I'm saying for the ladies, they absolutely adore him. The way he looks, everything like that. He's got a tremendous physique. He is small, but he had a fabulous debut yesterday. Now, would I go to the extent of people that actually wrote in droves that the last time they felt like this is when John Cena had his debut? Not so fast. He had a great match yesterday. It was a one-sided match against Fuego del Sol. Put him in a match with someone a little bit more established, and it may not go the same way. What last night was designed for is they felt he was ready to have a match. They gave him Fuego del Sol because Fuego del Sol is the perfect person for him to face. Not only is Fuego beloved by many, Fuego also doesn't have the most impressive win-loss record, and Fuego will sell like $1 million for Hook. Hook had an excellent match yesterday. He showcased what he could do. A lot of reminiscing of what Taz used to do in the ring, and he did a tremendous job yesterday. Let's leave it at that. It reminds me a little bit of Tony D'Angelo's debut. I watched people photoshopping the NXT heavyweight title on Tony D'Angelo after one match. He had a great match yesterday. Am I going to put it as one of the greatest debuts in history? That is asinine ridiculous. For younger fans out there, that don't go back many years and they enjoyed this debut more than anything, I totally respect that, absolutely. There was a lot of curiosity about Hook. There was a lot of curiosity. And let's also be honest. A lot of people out there saw this small kid at ringside. The fuck is this? Why is he in the ring, like getting in the face of CM Punk? Why is he getting in the ring, getting in the face of Sting or this or that? The fuck is this guy? Well, it's Taz's son? Yeah, has about a little more than Taz. That was the view of a lot of people. So it was time for him to show what he can do. Yesterday was a video game match. You play against the easy level on a wrestling game and you fight the computer on easy level, of course you're going to look like $1 trillion. Hook is not ready to be this big major star. My God, he's still a kid, new in the business. He's got the wind under his belt. Let him work more. And here's the most important thing I could say about Hook. Offense is great. He nailed everything he needed to nail yesterday. The defense is the test. Telling a story is the test. You know, having counter moves is the test. Not where every little thing is choreographed, okay, I'm going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to counter it into this, and that. So we've seen the one side of Hook, but the opposite side, the defensive side, is just as important. Takes two to tango in the ring. So excellent start for Hook. Couldn't have gone any better yesterday. I think for some people out there, you know, don't overhype it. Don't add unnecessary pressure on this kid. Because he is still a kid. And he had one match. Let him develop. Give him time. You know, when people compare it to Cena was in OVW and he wrestled for other feds for a couple of years, if I remember correctly. I mean, he didn't just have one match. And yes, Hook has been in the school training. But Hook hasn't been in OVW for X amount of years or worked on the indie circuit or anything like that. Once they felt it was ready for Cena to debut, he debuted, confronted Kurt Angle. Had a lot of dark matches leading up to it. We didn't have dark matches for Hook. So when you start really dissecting it, I think people really need to, you're happy for him. He did a great job. It was a good start. Leave it at that. All right. I think I was very fair. I did not criticize him at all. And listen, you know, I understand people excited for the kid, but don't blow it up into something that it's not, because it really, you know, then you start getting people that just wants to counter your comments. And what's the first thing people are going to say? Look at him. He's like 95 pounds soaking wet. You know, put him up against someone who's 220 pounds. He's going to look like somebody's child. You know, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this is what happens. When you overdo it, you're going to have the flip side that is going to throw back darts, and it's unfair to the kid. It's unfair to the kid. All right. So before we wrap this up, and by the way, yesterday, Adam Cole beat Wheeler Yuta. How's the best way I could put this? The awkwardness of Tony Khan towards Adam Cole continues. If you remember, we had a wrestling fan that all they did was express their opinion 2 weeks ago that they feel that Adam Cole is not being used in any great way in AEW compared to NXT, almost like comedy. A wrestling fan is no longer allowed to have that opinion. It wasn't a wise-ass wrestling fans that wrote like, look at this fucking Adam Cole, he's a goof now. No, they were very respectful. And they weren't tweeting Tony Khan. The fan was just expressing an opinion online. Tony Khan went after this fan, not in a disrespectful way, but still answered this fan back and actually wrote, Adam Cole is over as fuck in AEW. He's performing in front of more fans than in Tuesday night and this and that. Tony Khan got extremely defensive about this. Extremely defensive. The fact that Tony Khan is getting this defensive, I think he knows that it's true. That's why he's got to cover. And that's why Adam Cole last week, the week before, did the whole entrance just to go on commentary. And trust me, I don't think Adam Cole likes that said about him either on social media. But fans have a right to their opinion. So what happened yesterday? Adam Cole beats Wheeler Yuta in the main event. FTR versus the Lucha Bros, an AEW tag team title match, is not the main event. Adam Cole versus Wheeler Yuta is. Which that in itself, you should be like, why? It was a squash match. And on top of it, after Rampage went off the air, not even 2 minutes later, Tony Khan posted a tweet. Adam Cole is now 9-0 in singles competition in AEW and 5-0 that this and that. And man, he is extremely defensive. Out of anybody on the AEW roster right now, Tony Khan is uber sensitive and defensive of Adam Cole's use. And it is so visible and apparent and glaring. It's interesting. And I've said it. If Adam Cole is happy and the majority of AEW fans are happy the way he's used, fine with me. Fine with me. I'm not going to compare the two. If he needed a physical and mental break and he is having fun and he's getting to just, be happy and happy is his career and he doesn't feel he's being wasted and the AEW fans as a majority don't feel he's being wasted, that's fine with me. But you're going to get some that want the Meltzer rating. I want a 5-star match. I want a 5-star match. I want a 5-star match. Why is CM Punk taking on Lee Moriarty? You're always going to get those fans. You got to just let them express their opinion, even if you are upset at it. Have other wrestling fans answer those people back. Not Tony Khan, and certainly not Adam Cole. All right, very quickly. Categories, 2 of them. Now, we have many more. Best mic skills, worst mic skills, most embarrassing moment of 2021, most memorable moment, most improved, comeback wrestler. We're probably going to do the Comfort In Awards, Jabroni of the Year. That's the Jackass of the Year. Patron was last year. Then again, he's almost all exonerated. I don't know who would be Jabroni of the Year. I got to really think about that one. The Pink Slip Award, who should have been fired, that wasn't, come back, meaning somebody you want to see back. And there's others. But tonight, we are focusing only on 2 categories. Breakout Star of 2021 and Women's Wrestler of the Year. I want to get into Breakout Star of 2021 first. And it could be male or female. Or someone that identifies themselves as they or them. I don't care. But we can go 5, 6, 7 nominees. If we really can't narrow it down, we could go 8 if you want. The 3 names that I came up with. Now, Breakout Star of the Year. Okay, let's kind of explain what this is. This is not Rookie of the Year. This is someone who in 2021 broke out, just broke out and is on a different level. And my 3 picks that I came up with was Damian Priest, Dante Martin, and Dominic Mysterio. Now, I know who I'm voting for, but I think those 3 names deserve to be on the list. Maybe Dominic, if you want to put him more as Rookie of the Year, we could cross Dominic off because Dominic is still, new. So maybe Breakout Star is someone who's been around for a few years, but totally broke out in 2020. 2021 was their year. It might not be Wrestler of the Year, but it was their year. So, guys, gals in the chat, start throwing out some names that you seriously think, and just don't throw a name out there to throw a name out there. I want to see repetitiveness. Okay, John Hinosa with Josh Alexander. I think that's an excellent one. Josh Alexander definitely deserves to be on there. I mean, he's not going to be Wrestler of the Year, but he definitely, without a doubt, had a breakout 2021. Eddie Kingston. That's an interesting one. Eddie Kingston, when you compare 2020 to 2021, I think that's a good argument. What do you guys think about Eddie Kingston? Kenny Omega, I disagree. Kenny Omega had a great 2020. Just because he came in like in the top 5 of Wrestle Year doesn't mean that he suddenly broke out. But what do you think about Eddie Kingston? Does Eddie Kingston deserve? Because you got to remember, too, we don't want this to just be a popularity contest. I think Darby Allin in 2020 had a great year in 2020. Darby Allin has not had too many wins lately. I don't think Darby Allin should be on there. But what do you guys think about Eddie Kingston? Should we put Eddie Kingston on that list? And again, it's not a popularity contest. Don't put him on there just because you like him. So what do you guys think about Eddie Kingston? So we have Dante Martin. We have Damian Priest. We have Josh Alexander. So, all right, we're getting a bunch of you saying, yes, we put Eddie Kingston on the list. Okay, we'll put Eddie Kingston on the list. So we got 4. We could still add 4 more people. Any women that you think had a breakout year? What about Deonna Purrazzo? You think Deonna Purrazzo should be on there? Some people may think Jordan Grace. Do you think either one of them should be Breakout Star of the Year? Kavan, we have Dante Martin on the list. Couple of votes for Alex Hammerstone. We could consider him as well. Remember, don't misconstrue Rookie of the Year with Breakout Star of the Year. We're talking about someone, I think Britt Baker had a good 2020 as well. I don't know if she actually broke out. Britt Baker, possibly. But I don't think Braun Breaker has had enough matches. You could put him maybe as Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he's had enough matches. Bianca? So Deonna Purrazzo and Jordan Grace, that's a no on both. Raquel Gonzalez is not a bad pick, but Raquel had, I think, a better, if you really think about it, Raquel Gonzalez may have had a better 2020 than 2021. That moment with her, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca was awesome. But that was very early in the year. That was what, May? So that was April, May. I don't know if Raquel has had a great 2021 after April. I thought about Mandy Rose, but Mandy Rose, I think, is only starting to come into her own now. I think 2022 is going to be her breakout year. Austin Theory is not a bad choice. Trevor Murdoch is not a bad choice either. What do you think about Trevor Murdoch? See, the funny thing is, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Trevor Murdoch, I don't know if I would have put Trevor Murdoch as the NWA Heavyweight Champion. But he's done a great improvement. He's had a great year. Okay, we got some votes for Deonna Purrazzo. Veer Mahan. Emelina. Veer Mahan. Emelina. Veer Melina. Roman Reigns has always been a star. Just, not always liked. So, okay, so we could put Deonna Purrazzo on there. We will not put Jordynne Grace. Doesn't mean that she won't be in another category, so I don't want anybody to get upset. All right, a lot of you are showing love for Trevor Murdoch. We'll put Trevor Murdoch on that list. Okay, so now we are up to 6. We have Damian Priest, Dante Martin, Josh Alexander, Eddie Kingston, Deonna Purrazzo, Trevor Murdoch. Do you really want Raquel Gonzalez on this list? I'll leave it up to you guys. Thunder Rosa, you know what? Thunder Rosa is not a bad choice. And just because I was a huge fan of her last year doesn't mean that she had that big widespread popularity. I think Thunder Rosa deserves to be on there too. Yeah, I'm with Chris. Thunder Rosa over Raquel Gonzalez. Because Raquel Gonzalez, like I said, after April, I don't know if Raquel has had a great 2021. She's cooled off significantly. So do we leave it at that? Should we? All right, let me throw one more out there for you. Alex Hammerstone. Should we put Alex Hammerstone on the list? Be honest. There's no wrong answer here. Because right now we have Damian Priest, Dante Martin, Josh Alexander, Eddie Kingston, Deonna Purrazzo, Trevor Murdoch, and Thunder Rosa. You tell me Alex Hammerstone. So we got 2 votes for no, another vote for no. Now we got a couple of votes for yes. I mean, we could put him. I don't think Austin Theory has done enough yet. They used him more comedy than anything in NXT for this year. Moose, I don't think has done enough yet. And honestly, I mean, he's not torn it down. Moose did not have a good 2021 up until recently. So I don't think Moose broke out. So we're getting a lot more negative on Alex Hammerstone than you think. I can't put Imperium. They could go in the tag team of the year when we get to them. Riddle, I think Riddle was already... See, you're forgetting that Riddle and Pete Dunne was fabulous. Riddle was tearing it up in NXT. Just because he went to the main roster, I mean, Riddle had a good 2020. Matt Cardona has had many years as a star. So I think we'll leave it at that. I think we'll leave it at that. You know what I'll do? We'll leave this list. I'll put it up in the community section, and we'll give everybody a chance to pick one additional person. And we'll see who gets the most votes. We'll leave it at this. And if there's a name that you really want that isn't on you now, when I post it in the community section tonight or tomorrow, post it there. And we'll see, how many people agree. And then maybe we'll add another person. I don't think LA Knight's had that great of a year, to be honest with you. Did he really break out? I don't think so. So now we got 5 minutes left. Women's Wrestler of the Year. Now, I think, obviously, a lot of you out there are going to choose Britt Baker. I think a lot of you out there are going to choose Bianca Belair. I think that's pretty obvious. Do we put Deonna Purrazzo on that list? And yes, someone could be nominated in multiple categories. Last Saturday, we reminisced. I gave you the categories of what they were in 2006. I put that episode of us doing the Year End Awards for 06. I put that up earlier in the week. If you go to the playlist, I think it was January 15, 2007 episode. It's online. And some people won multiple awards. So we have Bianca. We have Britt Baker. Do we put Deonna Purrazzo? I think we have to put Charlotte simply because, I mean, you look at her 2021. I mean, she's had an excellent year. You do not have to vote for her. But I think Charlotte deserves to be on there. Sasha Banks has had a pretty good 2021. She took some time off. And I'm not sure if she did enough to be Wrestler of the Year. Just because you like her, I don't know if she should actually be Wrestler of the Year. Thunder Rosa, I think you could put Thunder Rosa on there. Yeah, Brandy hasn't done enough. Or, you know what? And I'm just being funny here. I just said Brandy Rhodes hasn't done enough. I take that back. Brandy, you've done too much. Alexa Bliss has not had a good 2021. Who else do we put? We got 4 right now. We got Britt Baker, Bianca Belair, Charlotte, and Thunder Rosa. I know you're trolling. I know Brandy's done very little. Who else do we put? We got 4 women so far. What about indies? Anybody stand out to all of you? What a shame that Tessa Blanchard did almost nothing. I think she did nothing. What a wasted year. I mean, even if she was enjoying life, enjoying her personal life, man, just as a wrestling fan, man, I mean, she might end up winning Comeback Award. Come back. We want you back on TV. Statlander, I don't think anybody really thinks that she had Wrestler of the Year. We're talking someone who really stood out. Bailey, too many injuries. Serena Deeb, I don't think has had enough matches. Interesting. I don't even think Rhea Ripley should be on this list. How sad is that? I don't even think Rhea Ripley should be on this list. Hey, I got one for you. Some of you brought it up before. Should we consider Mandy Rose's Breakout Star? I know a few of you said that before, but I was thinking about it. And props to all of you out there who did not say Liv Morgan, because Liv Morgan next year, I think, is her year. But the more I think about it, I think Mandy Rose is not a bad choice. I'm just thinking about that now, just, because thinking about Wrestler of the Year, I don't think she's Wrestler of the Year. But I think Mandy Rose definitely is someone. Yeah, so we'll put Mandy on there. So we got 8. So you know what? For the community section, we're not going to do the Breakout Star in the community section. We got 8. So that's set. So for Breakout Star of the Year, we got Damian Priest, Dante Martin, Josh Alexander, Mandy Rose, Eddie Kingston, Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, and Trevor Murdoch. So for the Women's Wrestler of the Year, we got Britt Baker, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Thunder Rosa. Is that what we're going with? And I'll have the community section come up with 1 or 2? Do we stick with that? Give me an argument. I think Carmelo Hayes will be the Breakout Star of next year. He hasn't done enough. Rio did very little this year. Becky did not do enough to be Wrestler of the Year. I could see her contending for 2022. Would you consider Alex Hammerstone a rookie? Seriously. I'm curious because, in the very near future, next couple of days, we're going to come up with the Rookie of the Year. You're going to choose the nominees there. We're going to do this eventually for all the categories. We will do this over the next 20 days on some of these episodes where we have 5-10 minutes that we can play around with it. We will throw 1 or 2 categories on here, and you will help us create the nominees. So, but, okay, so not really as far as Rookie of the Year. So, look, there's going to be another category or 2 where he'll be on there. I'm sure he'll be in a Comfort In Award. But as far as Women's Wrestler of the Year, are we stuck at just those 4? And again, we don't want to put someone on there simply as a popularity contest. We have Britt, Bianca, Charlotte, and Thunder Rosa. Nobody from Japan? I think we're stuck at those 4. Do you want to put Deonna Purrazzo in there? I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad of a choice, to be honest with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not the biggest Deonna Purrazzo fan. I think Impact Wrestling tried their hardest early on to replace her from Tessa Blanchard. It felt like they went out of their way to try to make people forget about Tessa Blanchard. But Deonna Purrazzo has proved to really do a damn good job. Too bad we couldn't put Mickie James as Breakout Star. But, maybe, you know what? Look, Mickie James can end up in the comeback wrestler of the year. Somebody who had a crappy 2020, but had a pretty damn good 2021. Matt Cardona. That some of you said earlier, Matt Cardona could be comeback wrestler of the year. So breakout and comeback are two totally different things. Justin Charlotte, consistently all year, whether you like her or not, has been involved in some of the best matches. Her win-loss is impressive. Her championship reign is impressive. She's great on the mic. She has been around almost the whole year, with the exception of early on with COVID for a little while. I don't know if she's going to win. I don't think she's going to be my choice, but she definitely has earned a nominee on there. Ken, I just finished saying that I'm probably not voting for Charlotte. Am I a big fan of hers? Absolutely. But, let's also be honest. Some of the names people are coming up with, some of those women wrestled 12 matches the whole year. Wrestling rookie Lisa Left Nipple, is not impressive for me. All right, so we put Deonna Purrazzo on there. I think that's pretty solid. We got Britt Baker, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Thunder Rosa, and Deonna Purrazzo. I think that's a pretty good list. Doudrop is not at a very good year, to be honest with you. And if she watches that right now, she'll be like, that's what she does. Alexa Bliss has not had that great of a year either. Come on. So I think we are good. Nyla Rose has not had that great of a year either. Hell, Hikaru Shida should have been on this list, and she did not have a great 2021. So, all right, so we're going to stick with those women, and then I will put it in the community section, and let's see, if anybody, comes up with some names, and a lot of people agree or agree with it. So, all right, so we are good, and I think we are done. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Again, I know a little bit of a shorter show. Wow, for a change. I know what some of you are saying right now. Oh, for fucking Karrion Kross, for Killer Kross. Now you're going to go off the air on time. Every other show. Yeah, it's going to be a quick show. It ends up 3 hours long. It's I know a lot of you out there definitely curious to see if he throws any juicy juice on Twitch tonight. I don't expect controversy. I'm sure he's probably going to take the high road because he's still, under the 90-day no-compete. And listen, be prepared for that too. If some of you out there ask a question and he's like, look, I'm under no-compete. I really, I don't want to, it's not him trying to dodge it. I think, WWE is paying him for 90 days. Trust me, they're paying him a nice little chunk of change for 90 days. The fact that they're paying you, as bitter, and this is just an opinion for me, as bitter as you may be towards WWE, as much of a bad taste that Killer Kross has in his mouth right now after what happened with WWE, you're a professional at the end of the day. You show, and that shows other promotions out there that you do business the right way. You may not have liked the outcome. You may feel it's unfair, and you may feel like WWE totally screwed them up, but it shows that the person does business the right way. So I do not expect, if anybody thinks tonight to expect him to just totally rip apart WWE and creative and all this stuff, I don't expect that at all. Not because I like the guy, but because I know how he does business, And I've talked to him behind the scenes about business, and especially the way Impact used him. When people say, oh, my God, he could be back in Impact Wrestling. Oof. The way they treated him last time, it's still under the same ownership. Anything is possible, but wow. The way they fucking milked him, just like drew things out for chump change. I don't know. I'm not so sure. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to jet out of here. You all have a great Saturday night. Don't forget, in 24 hours, we will be back here again. Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Well, actually, 8:05. Nothing but calls. So if you are not doing nothing tomorrow night at 8:05, we'll go about 90 minutes also. If you want to call in and talk about wrestling, the only thing is be prepared. I have my system set up on a timer. So if we get 4 or 5 minutes in and you get disconnected, it's not being me being rude. It's not technical difficulties. It's, we're trying to get as many people to call in as possible. So just be prepared if you do call in and you have something you want to discuss, just understand that, if it goes long and it cuts off, it's nothing personal. It's just so we can keep the conversations flowing. So, Psycho 187, what is Kross's Twitch name? That is a very good question, and I will give you the answer right now. Let me check his Twitter. Okay, it is Real Killer Kross, the same name that he does. And okay, here, he will not flag me for copyright. I think, will this play? Let me see if this plays. I don't think you could hear that. All right. Well, anyway, it's Real Killer Kross, the same as his Twitter handle. So I am going to get out of here now. It'll give me about 20 minutes to edit the show, put it on. I mean, I can always put the show online later tonight, but I will definitely be in his Twitch sometime between 10 and 10:15 p.m. I don't expect him to be on that long. So don't wait too long to log in over there because the show might be over already. And again, if you go there, tell him, DT sent me because I'll be hanging out there in there as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So everyone, have a great night. I am out of here. Much love, and hope to see you tomorrow night at 8:05 p.m. Night, everybody.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.
Night, everybody. And for those that were asking, the link for Mr. Kross, it is twitch.tv/realkillerkross. Everyone have a nice weekend. What's left of it. You all take care.